Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, we're going to game number 5. It's down to the final seeds from both Oceania as well as the GPL. Divals will be taking on the Gigabyte Marines. And now everyone's joining us on the desk. We got Spawn, Jis, Ejim, as well as Mr. Koala here. And, you know, it's going to be a fantastic time.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, right now is do or die time for OS. They went into the final boss fight with, you know, 2 lives. They've burnt both of them. So now it's just the 1v1 battle, and Divals have to be able to step up to the plate.
Yeah, no, I guess it's just a question of can they. It's been pretty interesting. I think that game specifically, Sin brought the Fido to the GPL region earlier on in the set. And that game, stylistically, I think GAM are a lot of a slower team, and Legacy are a lot slower as well. That game only had like 5 kills-ish by the 20-minute mark. Very different from what we've seen earlier in the day, and I guess we get an even different style coming from Direwolves, who play very topside focused coming into this match.
Yeah, and I think you could almost say that Direwolves start meshing the two together. You know, they're prepared to be aggressive early in lanes, similar to Sin, but they also have a pretty confident macro game, and they, you know, not going to say that we're merging the two together to fight the final battle, but you know, they definitely have a lot of stronger suits.
And we've seen that Optimus is also really key for this team. I mean, game 1 on the Oriana looked absolutely fantastic. Took it to Tommy, to Ryoma, and they came up the better person. Game 2, Claire held his own, but then the side lane pressure, Oriana couldn't match, and they played a very unique Victor style, 40% cooldown reduction. A lot of pressure throughout that. And I think that Fantix, whilst one day Ryoma may be the best mid laner in Oceania, Fantix is currently king in that regard at the moment. Swiffer has not slumped, but, you know, hasn't hit the highs that Fantix has been able to achieve lately. And I have really, like, if someone's going to take down Optimus, I have a lot of faith that it will be Fantix, because he is a great player.
And you could argue as well that the one jungler that could probably take it to Levi the best is going to be Schönfire as well. I mean, Carbon tried to with a Nunu, didn't quite work out. Juves got taken down as well. Is Schönfire the hope that we need?
It's kind of hard to call, right? I think Schönfire is definitely one of the best junglers in the region. Juves and Carbon often criticized a fair amount in their specific matchups against the likes of Spooks and Schönfire, but I think coming into the start of this OPL split, Schönfire hasn't looked that hot. And in the games earlier in the group stage, he was getting picked off a lot in the late game, making a lot of sloppy errors himself. So potentially, if today is a good day for Schönfire, he is the person to knock out Levi, but I think Levi is a very good player in his own right.
But he said, you know, he had, you know, a lackluster performance at MSI, and he wants to regain everyone's trust, and he wants to show that he is not all talk. So I think that, you know, this game means a lot to him, and he's going to bring it. Yeah,
and the other area I think we have to take a look at is the bottom lane, because we've seen that game 1, FBI and Rogue got the better matchup. They were able to win it. This time, little bit of priority placed elsewhere in the draft, let's call it, because disrespect has been thrown around a little bit too much. So they prioritize top side of the map. They give a utility bottom lane out there in the Bard and the Varus, and they fall very far behind. Destiny and King didn't perform all that crash hot at MSI. They also were the part of the map that let it down. Their solo laners look fine. Other 3 members kind of look lackluster. And I think that this is a bottom lane you have to respect, because they are willing to lose lane, but they're also willing to win lane when you give them a winning lane. Yeah,
and talking about bot lanes, in that game specifically, Legacy versus Gigabyte Marines, one thing that the camera didn't actually catch it, but it's so small, and you saw it on the minimap, they're picking things like the Tahm Kench and the Caitlyn. They're doing really cheeky things. Caitlyn netted over the wall into the red side jungle to get a ward in the lane so that they weren't getting lane ganked, and then so they could keep pushing under turret, and then Tahm would eat the Caitlyn back over the wall. So there's really niche things that the Gigabyte Marines bot lane is doing. Noe and Archie, Noe and Sia, and I think they're playing really well.
Yeah, they certainly are. Noe and Sia, you know, we didn't expect this to be the bottom lane duo. We expected Archie to be the support. He showed up in the top lane on his cannon and doing an absolute fine time. I mean, that's 2 games in a row he's picked up that champion, doing absolutely perfect. Doesn't seem like there's anything you can really pull out against it so far.
Chippies has got a counter for everything. Yeah. Like, that's what I've learned. I talk to Chippies and I come up to him and I'm like, Camille's broken at the moment. Oh, don't worry, I can play this into it. I'm like, oh, so you're giving away strats? And he's like, nah, that's not even like the tip of the iceberg. Like, you have seen this part and there's like this much underneath the ocean. So he's got one of the deep... He's one of those annoying players that you're like, can you play this? And he's like, yeah, I can. And then you like think, oh, he's had 2 games on it. And then he pulls it out and it looks absolutely proficient. So he's a very skilled player.
Well, let's actually take a look at this matchup today. It's going to be Gigabyte Marines taking on the Direwolves. These 2 teams have played once before. Direwolves were not able to pick up a victory, and they will be definitely looking for some revenge.
You know, you have to say, the Direwolves came back from MSI saying that Gigabyte Marines were definitely the strongest team there. So they have a lot of respect for them. Then they come up against them and they drop the first game. So yeah, like, you can speak for players. Like, they really want to win this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about revenge matchups all day. Legacy and Ascension didn't get that one, and so this is definitely kind of all culminating in this this big finale. We've been talking about the Gigabyte Marines knocking off Sin, knocking off Legacy, and now facing Direwolves. Can they pull out the 1v3? Can Direwolves get the revenge?
Yeah. I mean, are we going to do predictions? I don't know. It's your desk, but a brave man says that they can get revenge here because Gigabyte Marines, Carbon already said it, they would be warmed up. They've done 3 games now, and they're heading into like the peak part, and I don't think they've really been stretched all that far so far, so I think they're feeling pretty confident.
Well, let's do just that. What are you guys' thoughts on this match? Who do you think is going to pick up the victory and send their region into the grand finals?
I'm going to have to go with Gigabyte Marines, and I'm going to preface that by saying I think Direwolves are coming in cold. We've been saying Gigabyte Marines, as you just said, have been playing these games and they're coming in hot, and Direwolves haven't played all yesterday, although they got to watch the games, but they've skipped a day, and I feel like that is a really big thing, and so they're coming in cold to this match, and it's This is the last game potentially for OS, and I feel like that's a big ask to come in completely cold and win it.
See, I'm going to let you guys give your predictions on this, but you can't trust this guy for a second. On day 2, he said that he wants OS to go into the gauntlet so they can run the gauntlet. Now he just wants OS to lose. I don't know who you really
I wanted
for
Sin
here,
to
Bryce.
run the gauntlet, and we got 2, and then they fell short against Gigabyte Marines, and now they've stomped out Legacy. It's a disaster.
Just disappointing, really.
Just
You
disaster.
don't lack of faith in Oceania. What about you, Just? Clear Oceanic supporter, aren't you? You know. I'm about to walk
Sorry to
off.
break your heart, Fish. Look, I think that Gigabyte Marines have shown that they are possibly the best team here. Japan are going to have maybe a big argument to start tomorrow with them, but I think that they will start that argument tomorrow.
Yeah, and Fish, I honestly
Don't
not
throw
think
the
that
koala.
that koala will do anything today. Gigabyte Marines are the best team in this tournament. They had an anomaly against Rampage, and it was an anomaly. They are so controlled at the moment, and I actually think their change in playstyle will set them up for more international success than what their Chaos style did in the past. So I think they're a really classy squad. Southeast Asian squad on the desk.
Well, I started off this desk today asking if this was going to be the results of, Sin picking up 2 wins and then reverse sweep from Gigabyte Marines. Everyone said, no, that's not how the Pokemon battle works. Apparently everyone's flip-flop here today. Gigabyte Marines looking to be the favorites once again going into this final match against the Direwolves. Direwolves have picked blue side for this game, and they've banned out Thresh, Gragas, as well as Kennen. The bans coming out from Gigabyte Marines so far will be Galio, Zac, and you could expect an Elise as the final ban.
And we haven't seen Archie on anything other than the Gragas and Kennen so far in this tournament, so it should be interesting to see what he can pull out.
Ooh,
He's had
ban.
good performances of both of them, but won't have that luxury this game.
That's a big respect ban being thrown towards Fantix, and the first lock-in for the Direwolves is Rek'Sai.
We saw that Vladimir ban come out game 1 against Direwolves too, so obviously I'm going to say they scouted the Chiefs' first Direwolves series and they saw Fantix's Vladimir there. Definitely nothing to laugh at. But no, this makes a bit of sense. We see, Levi had a pretty good performance on the Rek'Sai, and Shenfire, probably putting that as the strongest jungle at the moment, takes that first. But it does give way to this Tarm Kench, which they've picked now 3 times in a row, and the Caitlyn too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the same matchup as they got last game. And we saw Legacy put the Bard into it. We've seen Sin take the Zyra into it. I think Direwolves, I'll be looking for Destiny to take something like a Karma here. They can flex it between the roles. Fantix can play Karma. And I feel like that'll be a better matchup. And Destiny, obviously a very good Karma player. They do look like they're opting for the Zyra, though.
I mean, the Zyra looked better than the Bard, but I'm
Yeah.
not expecting... Whoa.
Okay.
That is very quick. Zyra being locked in with Kassadin for Fantix.
So obviously not worried about the AD carry champion pool then. Willing to run something like a Kolga or a Twitch into it because you have to expect that Ashe and Varus are going. Maybe they just will take Ashe, Varus, or Jhin.
And I mean, like you stop at Jhin there, but King is the AD carry, who's traditionally always been playing the Kohopmo and the Twitch when they're kind of niche in the meta. He's been the one actually practicing them and putting hours into them, and obviously he's very happy to be forced in a situation where he has to pull them out.
Yeah, and we're seeing it, more common around the world. That people are starting to go back towards hyper carries, and we're yet to see that at Rift Rivals Purple.
Varus being the first ban coming out from Gigabyte Marines, so they are targeting bans towards King. Could expect an Ashe or a Jhin ban to follow, but as you guys have mentioned, King has a diverse champion pool. Direwolves, interested to see what they're going to ban out. Both solo laners from Gigabyte Marines have been hidden. Chippy still has his top lane pick to go.
Do they ban out Orianna? Because Ori historically has done very well into Kassadin. It is now with Shield a harder matchup for Orianna. But Optimus is a very good Ori player.
And I'm curious whether Marines bust out the Jin ban here over the Ashe. They already have the Tahm Kench that would counter the Ashe pick in the ultimate. Like, whoever gets arrowed, you can just eat them up. But they do go for the Fiora, so not the Ori or the Jin.
Makes sense. I mean, the Varus ulti is the only one out of those that really gives Tahm Kench all that much trouble because it spreads rather rapidly. As you said, Ashe can really just shut it down, and then so mid lane Lucian is what gets banned away from Optimus.
Yep, they don't want Optimus to pick that up against Cassidy. Waiting to see what the next pick from Gigabyte Marines is going to be. Do they pick up Orianna here and lock that in for Optimus?
Yeah.
Keep Archie's pick for last.
I think you give Archie some protection here. You're not really worried about... you know the jungle as well as the mid lane, so probably Jace, whilst it's a flex, you would have to think would be going towards that mid lane position.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't know enough, but you would assume such. Still probably a matchup Fantix is not too scared of. Fantix is probably one of the best Cassidans from Oceania.
He's also one of the best Jaces.
He also just like blind pick insta-locked Kassadin, so thinking about things he's worried about, there's probably not an awful lot.
And the Chippy special, Camille gets locked in. Have to see what Gigabyte Marines are throwing his way. Is it going to be the Jace, or have they hit an Archie for last?
And Chippies did pick the Jax into the Camille earlier on in the tournament, and we do see the Jax. Can Archie play it? I assume so.
Chippies fell behind in the matchup.
And then he got bailed out by a few freezes, and then...
Certainly did. They actually prioritized his lane very hard, which we haven't seen for Archie. In fact, he's been doing the opposite so far for his team. So we would have to assume that if played well, the Camille wins the early game and then Jax takes over late, potentially. Although maybe it was just an anomaly and we have absolutely no idea how anything works.
And that's locked in. Jax being picked up into Camille. We have the Jace into Cassidin.
Are we talking about semantics or League of Legends, guys?
I didn't correct someone on the desk,
I'm a Nemo fan. I was trying to get an enemy joke in there, man. We got it in the end.
Please send help. Bring humans back. I can't do this
anymore. Big Finding Nemo fan. Big... Who won the draft? Does anyone want to change?
Their preferences or their predictions?
Their prediction.
No, I'm still pretty confident here with Gigabyte Marines.
It's a big 1-3-1 comp out of Direwolves. That's what they've been known to play. They've got the good defense. They've got probably, arguably, the best top side of the map that they would hope for.
Pretty big 1-3-1 comp coming out of Gigabyte Marines too. And they have the Tahm Kench, which they've just shown throughout today that they do use to quite good effect.
Cassidin beats everyone in one.
I was going to say, you would expect, as we saw earlier in the tournament, like the Jax to outscale the Camille, but then the Cassidin probably going to do a lot more in the split against the Jace later on. So depending on how the teams choose to like deploy those lanes against each other will be quite interesting.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to flip-flop. After the draft, I believe in my boy Fantix. He won me Riff Rive, League of Origin.
I have seen you roast analyst after analyst who sit on the fence or jump the hedge at some point, and now...
He's flip-flopped twice as well. I don't understand. I need to start getting better at my roasting skills. I'm not picking my moments the right way. But for now, we're about to get onto Summoner's Rift for the final game today. And it will decide who will go up against the LJL in the grand finals tomorrow.
This is elimination time. The OPL's last hope. Gigabyte Marine, the final boss.
And they would literally go from yesterday being one game away from being grand finalists thanks to Sin. If they get knocked out here, third place at Rift Rivals.
That's a big fall from Grace. Well, I mean, we didn't get to Grace quite yet, but potentially.
Hoarded it at the edge of the...
Clawing at it and
Well, it's all on the line right now. And we're about to head on to Summoner's Rift to find out who will go up against the LJL tomorrow in the grand finals.
This is so intense. I mean, still for Southeast Asia, the only team that has won a match all tournament long is the Gigabyte Marines. And that might be enough to get them to the final.
And the strange thing is, in the group stage so far, against their respective seeds, the OPL is 2-1 against the LJL, and it was a very close match in the third match between Sin and Unsold Stuff. 2-1 going in favor of LJL. However, for the GPL, they didn't pick up a single win against the Japanese roster.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, Gigabyte Marines are the only GPL team that has won a game, and tomorrow, if that happens, they cannot win this tournament.
Yeah, pretty cool start coming out from the Direwolves. Sorry to change topics, but you know, normally we've been seeing Zyra start pushing into that lane, and we saw Sia sort of get into the early brush to counter that. Whereas they're going to go for that double camp leash, which with a Zyra is actually pretty powerful.
They're actually not. They're just leashing one.
And I think this is actually a really good read on the Gigabyte Marines, because you've seen Gigabyte Marines pick Tahm Kench and into a range matchup and know they're going to get shoved in early and then go and leash for their jungler. So Direwolves, knowing that, they've seen them play against Legacy, seen them play against Sin, they do the same, and then they're going to get to the lane at the same time as the Marines and then get the push anyway because they have the range advantage. So really nice read on the Marines there for Direwolves. This bodes really well.
About to see how this matchup pays off. Nowhere does have a good range advantage, and Sherfire, massive leash, already done with his Raptor camp. Levy will be slightly behind, now finishing his Wolf, went Blue Wolf, so both of them will be top side of the map.
You can see the actual tempo advantage isn't necessarily going to be all that much on Shern's favor. He's going to go the hard farming route, but Levi does red buff very quick. Yeah,
and you have to favor, I guess, taking the Raptor camp. We see a bit of an engaged top.
Chippies. Goes for gets a good level 1 trade, hits level 2 slower. So Archie trades back quite nice, but Chippy just returns the favor as soon as he
Creeps are OP. Like, I don't care what anyone says. The creeps just won him that trade, and actually Shern's going to have jump on Levi here.
Cocoon doesn't
Scuttle
connect.
Crab MVP blocks the potential Cocoon coming out. He has to throw it late and gets the burrow away.
Mid lane, Optimus doing fine against Fantix so far. Shoving in, hits level 3 first, but Fantix is a happy camper at the moment.
Yeah, and you have to respect that Fantix is running TP as well, so any early trading isn't going to be that detrimental because you know that he'll get back into lane.
Blue picked up by Shernfire there, so no counter jungling coming out from Levi. Gets a couple of deep wards though.
So he's a camp up at the moment because Scuttle Crab versus a completed camp is definitely in the completed camp favor. Sia's taken a lot of damage, as Bryce has just pointed out.
Chunked out by King and Destiny.
Destiny gone for the SKT Zyra
big fight in the top lane.
Yeah, Archie's already very low. Shernfire gets the knock up. Chippy jumps in, gives the jungler first blood. Big swing in power.
But Shern took it with E. I don't know why you take that kill as the Rek'Sai. We've already seen how volatile this matchup can be for Chippies. There is a chance that he just hard punishes with the first blood. Instead, gets the assist, which is good, but I just don't like to see in carry versus carry matchups, junglers deliberately take the kill.
So Archie was forced to teleport back to lane. Chippies did freeze it just off his tower as well.
And as we're looking at the bottom lane, the biggest thing to note here is Sia absolutely has no pots right now. He's looking to get a cheeky recall off. So the counter pick of the Zyra didn't work out too well for Sin, but King and Destiny making it absolutely work into the blind Tahm Kench pick. Just really punishing that matchup. So he goes back and opts for boots to get back into lane faster, I can assume, and dodge some of the harass.
Yeah, and we sort of mentioned how Levi is, maybe the star player of this Gigabyte Marines roster, and if it means that Shern takes the kill and starts getting a bit of control, maybe that's their game plan. So he's definitely ahead in the pathing war at the moment. He's already started his second clear, and he has that first blood kill. So looking at his items, he's already working towards that warrior, or potentially Tiamat. Sorry.
Fantix teleported back mid as well. You see Optimus trying to zone him off minions. Fantix does not care. He just keeps throwing Null Sphere after Null Sphere at the Jace.
Well, that's a big thing, that even though Null Sphere isn't going to be all that impressive versus Optimus's damage, still harasses him out. And it will be very relevant when Levi comes in for a gank. So certainly still not a bad pick. And this is what people sometimes overlook. Lane counters in professional League of Legends work when you have extreme pressure. And the problem with Kassadin at the moment is not many people get extreme pressure versus Kassadin.
It's the boring shield. The boring shield meta brings in the extra sustain, and you just can't push him out.
Oh, here we go, actually. They've got 3 members heading up here, and Destiny has Flash.
Yep, Optimus has his own flash. Flash exhaust from Destiny. Root doesn't connect, does get slows down. Fantix just flashes forward, smacks him with his lightsaber and picks up a kill.
And the carry gets the kill this time, Jake. So, definitely looking
Trust
pretty
me, mate.
for
He's
Shern.
He's the captain on the team. He said, Shern, you touch this, and we're bringing back Sybil. Get out of my lane.
Oh, that's a
touchy subject,
guys.
What
are you doing?
Spawn on fire today. Meanwhile, Chippies is teleported back to the top lane, so Archie will have a teleport advantage once his is back up, but he's going to have to walk back to this lane. Might be denied a couple of minions.
And 6 minutes in, we've already got a 1,000 gold lead for the Oceanic squad.
I never doubted him. Such a strong early game coming out of the Direwolves. My pick. Mate, who's been sitting next to the koala all day?
Who's strangled the koala?
Me. I'm the one sitting next to the koala all day. I don't know what I'm talking about. King, meanwhile, in the bottom lane, he's gone back to base. Picked up Swifty Boots as the first item. Caitlyn gone back and picked up, I think, one of the first cults we've seen on an 80 carry in a long time.
Thoughts on Swifty Boots first item?
Interesting. I feel like it used to be very common Not so much anymore, but in a lane where Caitlyn has the range advantage, your extra move speed allows you to kind of navigate that a lot better. And dodging time Kench Qs is always a bit helpful as well as that trade comes out. Nice dodge on the counter-strike.
Cheeky interaction from Chippy, stunning him so he can walk away from the counter-strike.
I think you're spot on there, by the way, Bryce. I think that the extra movement speed really will be the telling point in this. Also, given the fact that... Ooh, is it that level 6? He was.
He is level 6. Levi, level 5 at the moment.
Levi
Shern is ahead.
Sword boots again.
Sword boots first item, you know?
That's what he did last game.
He did it last game, yeah.
Did he have... I mean, I felt like he had an advantage last game.
He had a
when
couple of kills.
Yeah.
2 kills when he did it.
So it made a bit more sense there. I guess, you know, he's a very confident player, and, you know, probably worked for him in the past. But, yeah, definitely when you're behind in the matchup that, you know, typically not that great for you. And Rek'Sai hitting that important level 6 spike, I guess, you know, is it going to pay off for him?
Boy, oh boy, Fantix is a confident player, by the way. He doesn't back on Ruby Crystal and go for something like a Dark Seal because this is still a tough lane. Just goes for a blasting one, and that's very confident.
Chippies
He's in trouble.
Traded upon by Archie quite well. He
Big
pops
trouble.
the ultimate. He's going for the tower dive. Chippy's going to pop the ultimate. Doesn't dodge much, and Archie gets a solo kill in the top lane. Fantix, meanwhile, this might be a 2-for-1 special. The Marines just fight back and pick up 2 solo kills.
And I said that it was confident, and it ends up biting him in the ass because that extra health would have been very useful there for Fantix. And the Direwolves, 1,000 gold up, now back to dead even of just individual efforts.
And just as you were singing their praises, right? The Direwolves are a team that play around their solo lane so much. Their bot lane picks for utility most of the time, as they have done this game. They've picked the Zarya, they picked the Jhin. They do have the scaling on the Kassadin side of things, but that's a really big swing in favor of the Gigabyte Marines in this game.
And it equals out the gold too, so, you know, any advantage we thought Direwolves should just eke themselves, and, you know, DW spawn on the desk maybe needs to quiet down a little bit. We'll see how this one pans out. Both junglers, you know, actually just going back to farming, looking for, I guess, shallow invades, because now the game's quite even, but...
Seeing Warrior out of Shern as well. So a little bit of a different pickup there.
That's a tier Jace coming out of Optimus as well, straight into double longsword. So that might give Fantix some breathing room in the mid lane.
Yeah, so I sort of unintentionally leaked that I think he's going to go Warrior earlier when I saw him pick up the longsword. Just because I know that Shernfire is, he's a big fan of going Warrior into Knight's Vow, and I think that's because he has so many carry threats that, you know, that damage transference and the Knight's Vow passive is actually like quite threatening for the Direwolves lineup.
In this game specifically, though, like the Jhin, the Kassadin, there's not... Until it gets Mega Late, there's not a lot of sustained damage, which the Knight's Vow really thrives with, right? Like, the Jhin is going to get his burst off and then sit back with the ulti. Until it gets to Mega Late game, Kassadin's not really going to be ulting or flashing into fights.
Chippies is in trouble again.
And then Chippies is going to be inside lane.
Why are you trying to trade that one? He had a way out. Shernfire is there to make sure he's safe, and Fantix is roaming up as well. Levi paths topside camps inside the lane in case anything goes south for Archie, who's having a great game on this Jax.
Yeah, Chippies was trying to bait, I think. He thought Shern was going to be in his back pocket, and then Archie just didn't chase him in.
Exactly the same situation that we saw in mid lane with Fantix dying. You know, he's just floating just below the river coming into the gank, but, you know, doesn't actually transfer into anything when his laning goes a little bit too early.
Levi just throws out a cocoon from Fog of War. Good night, Chippies, and GPL are now 700 gold up.
And then you have to expect they're going to get a large amount of damage onto this top turret. The red buff ticking as well, and Spider Form, you know, does quite a bit of damage.
I have to say, this is the second time we've seen this matchup of Camille into Jace. And this time around, it is going much better for Jax. It's going much better for the Jax early than it did when Chippies was playing it. So Archie showing that he is a legitimate threat right now.
And as we said, it only gets better from here. As this scales on, Jax is just going to become better and better in the split push. That Q going to hurt on the Caitlyn.
Direwolves need to find some form of avenue of attack because top side of the map, Shernfire, he's forced his flash to get away from Archie and Levi.
They have lost complete touch with this game.
Even ultimate being thrown out by Destiny there, trying to lock down No Way, but Sia keeps him safe.
This stage of the game, if the damage isn't onto TK, it just does not matter. No Way's going to have far superior range. They know that Shern isn't going to go for a gank. And, oh my goodness gracious.
It's just disgusting. Doesn't seem like there's anything Chippies can do at the moment. This turret is so low. Levi's just going to stick up here. Teleport coming in,
actually
though.
coming in. This is a desperation play.
Fantix coming in. They do have Rek'Sai just behind him. Fantix will get flashed away from Levi straight up.
They lose first brick off that. All of a sudden. Oh, actually, Optimus doesn't go for it. Respects the fact that Shern is there. I thought with Optimus having flash and, you know, no real kill threat coming out of a flashless Rek'Sai that he would just stick around for another couple of pot shots. But the patience again out of the Marines.
I feel like he would eventually just get chased down by the Kassadin, right? Like, if he goes for that greedy play to look for the turret, he's probably trading his life for it, and obviously didn't opt into the tempo trade. Yeah, we have a TP.
Yep, Jack's looking for a big flank. Levi's still here, a little bit low on mana.
Teleport.
King's going to spot him out. They might actually pick up a kill here onto Archie. He pops out the counter-strike. Catapult does not connect. There goes the ultimate from Sherfire. Fantix jumps in, picks up a kill.
Yeah, really nicely done. They need to keep this Kassadin in some form of relevance. They get him another kill. Now they're actually going to look for Levi as well.
Levi dodges out the cocoon. He's popped the rappel, trying to get out of this one. Jumps back down. Exhaust being used. Here comes Fantix. Doesn't matter. Chippies gets that kill.
Yeah, really nicely done. And all of a sudden, they do have temp. They'll see whether they can get anything off it. Optimus was 100% getting this turret. And I don't think they can take top lane in response. So 2 kills go over for first brick. That is still okay for the Marines.
Okay, they're ahead by about 1,500 gold, and again,
they're already up 1,000 gold.
Just like the Legacy match, even though Direwolves are picking up the kills, GPL still one step ahead in the macro play.
Yeah, but as you say, I think it's not actually that bad for Direwolves. They were losing the top side of the map very, very hard, and they got the push in with the bot lane. King of Destiny shoved in and then reset and walked up to the top side of the map. They get the pick. They were going to lose the mid turret anyway with the TP, so they get the pick, and it kind of bails their top side out of the map a little bit. They're putting their bot lane to defend this turret that's super low. Caitlyn, Tahm Kench probably likely going to get this one.
And the silver lining as well is that Chippy's had to burn his TP to get back into lane after the dive threat was there. So forcing Archie to TP there just, you know, means that there's a little bit of safety in terms of
Ooh, this is dangerous all of a sudden.
See a lockdown underneath the turret. King gets a good crit shot. Destiny's rotating back up. Does have flash available. Sia going to heal off with the Grey Health. Forces a flash away.
And they've all of a sudden caught out Optimus mid as well.
Optimus going to get taken down. Here comes Shernfire. Chippies gets that kill with Fantix's help. Fantix is fairly low, but chugging through his last corrupting potion.
Really nice play out of the Direwolves here. They have accelerated the tempo of this game, and this is what we said. They will play both speeds.
See you, mate.
See ya. Very nice use of the Tahm ulti to get out of that, but that was only as a response to their very greedy play. Caitlyn only has a static shiv, no AD to her name really, and there were no minions around the turret, so it has the extra resist, so they were just sitting there, just taking the hits from the turret, and they're going to give up their top out of forward instead.
Levi's heading bottom or potentially towards the Ocean Dragon. Let's see if Camille does decide to stay off. Archie looking to whittle away at this turret. They've already set up top lane out to knock down later.
Now the problem is does Chippies ever get to a point where he wins this split push? Because we saw that when he played the Jax one more time, that was not the case. As soon as the Jax was ahead, the Jax ran away with it. And Archie is getting another turret for himself and is certainly going to feel very ahead in this game. So I am worried about one side of the one.
I mean, Archie's feeling pretty confident he's counter-striking the minions here, so...
Is there ever a world where they send Fantix up against him?
Yeah, of course there is. If Fantix gets... he's got tabbies, so yep, there's a world where Fantix can certainly match the Jax. Still needs to be careful until he's level 16 and has all that cooldown reduction to be able to leap away, but as I said, late game... who wins out of Kassadin and Fiora, actually?
Kassadin and Fiora?
Yeah, in like 1-3-1. I was going to say...
Fiora would have more sustain.
Yeah.
Should we clear the wave quicker, right? So
the gold's dead even between Chippies and Archie at the moment, but slight lead in the mid lane and big lead for No Way at the moment.
Interesting, because you would think with a couple of assists as well as the turret goal going over to King, that he should be relatively close, but that's not the case. That's interesting.
And it's a 2,000 gold lead for Gigabyte Marines as well.
It's only going to grow right now because they're definitely going to pick up top lane turret.
And that's going to fall. No contest coming out from the Direwolves. And No Way will be the benefactor of that as well. So big spike for the Caitlyn. Already has static shift, pickaxe picked up, and cull complete.
And Direwolves look a little bit lost here, roaming back and forwards between the lanes. You know, now potentially going to catch out Levi. No, a bit too safe there. Gets the vision on Repelled and knows that he doesn't need to check any further. But you know, where are they playing for at the moment now? Because they don't seem to have much of a pressure point.
I think the interesting thing for me here for the Gigabyte Marines is, are they going to set up the 1-3-1 now? They have broken the mid-outer, so Caitlyn Tahm Kench is a bottom lane that gets a lot of push priority in the mid lane because of Caitlyn's range advantage, and then very safe because of the Tahm Kench ability to eat her. And not to mention, like, the Tahm ulti, right? They can rotate to a side lane so quickly, so it looks like they have this set up. They put Jace in the top lane.
They're looking for a fight. Sia and No Way are going to be able to teleport up, but Destiny's already dead, and King is the next target. He tries to flash, double teleport coming in. Is it too little too late? Because Sia's here, shows the top of Optimus, gets one kill. Chippy's locks down Levi. Fantix is in the fight as well. They do end up trading. Archie decides not to teleport. He's pushing for bottom lane inner.
Yeah, so it was a double TP. We thought it was only one going up there, and therefore it should be a cancel, but they get the 2-for-1. Archie stays at home. He's a good dad and will be able to pick up the turret.
But they burn both of their teleports in this 1-3-1 comp, and then Archie just gets to keep onto his, and he also gets a huge chunk on this turret. Will Chippy's making a time? I think he will. Schönfire is catching the mid wave.
I think Archie might just dive him if he tries to do anything here. Said no. Goes for a little bit of damage.
Respecting Schönfire running for the mid lane. He would have seen him clear the wave and then floating to the bot side jungle. He has vision of him now, but didn't before, so nice read out of Archie again.
A sigh of relief for the Direwolves squad, but there's still 2,300 gold behind it. And again, they have another turret set up to be knocked down as soon as another play is made.
You know, and now they go exactly where they were 30 seconds ago. They walk back to mid and they're going to gain control. And, you know, Direwolves don't have that double TP now to bail them out. So I'm kind of curious to see, you know, where do they flex to now? Obviously, they still can go for the Rift Herald. They still can go for the Dragon. And now those inners with Archie coming online with the Triforce are definitely very possible objectives to take.
Levi potentially caught out here by Cassidy.
Throws out a cocoon, will connect. Fantix still wants this. Curtain call wide. They predict poorly. Destiny flashing for that one. Forces a flash out of Sia and No Way, so does get a 2-for-1 out of that.
Yeah, and they had to get something there because they'd already brought Chippies up. And unfortunately for Chippies, the more he keeps rotating into these fights, the further he's falling behind. And he's not going to be able to do anything. Right now, Archie's just looking at whether he wants a free back or whether he wants to continue to just farm up an absolute storm.
And this turret's very low. They have the Zyra rotating down, but he's looking for the
Archie
fight.
looking for a fight. Destiny's come down in as well. Ultimate is available. Archie will flash away Chippies. Felt like he should have pulled the trigger
I
there.
think it's a split second off being up, yeah. And Zyra, as we saw, used her flash to get into the to burn the flashes of the Gigabyte Marines bot lane at the Wraith, so couldn't lock him down.
But another round of flashes gone. So if they continue to play this much, you know, pick, as long as they're not losing turrets at the same time, as long as they're catching the waves early enough, they should be okay here, the Direwolves.
Yeah, but it just seems like they're always the ones in these situations expending resources to then go even, right?
Yep.
And so the Gigabyte Marines are just going to keep getting further and further ahead. This Jax is only become more and more of a monster, so
They're forcing to this turret as well. Zyra is in Fog of War.
not much of a wave.
So they back away. I mean, they're playing this cool, calm, and collected. The Marines under pressure are just so impressive today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that we're seeing, you know, as Fish mentioned, the game day Marines rather than the group stage Marines. Because, you know, they came into the King of the Rift with something to prove, knowing that, you know, there's a large likelihood that Mineskin and Ascension don't pull their own weight, but, you know, they're more than prepared to carry their team over the line.
Gigabyte Marines use that time to take down the first elemental dragon of this game, which is an Ocean Drake. And they're still 3,000 gold ahead, slowly acquiring leads. Top lane now is an advantage, jungle as well, but it's really the two carries of mid and bottom lane. Optimus and No Way have a massive lead.
And what's scaring me now, I think, is that Jax is walking back to this side lane. He's got the team at, and unless Chippy's base is here, okay, so thankfully Chippy's base is with the Triforce there too. So
Only a sword behind.
Yeah, that makes this matchup maybe closer than it could be, depending on base timings. I'll be curious to see, you know, how they're floating around their side laners, because that's definitely going to be a volatile matchup right now.
Fantix is looking for his Zhonya, so we'll be able to reduce a lot of damage from Archie and Optimus in these side lanes.
And the next thing on the map is definitely the Baron. Both teams are looking to set up this 1-3-1. Actually, Direwolves are putting their bot lane against Jace in the top lane. And the TPs are coming up relatively soon. Chippies is coming up before Fantix, so if Gigabyte Marines force anything, they will be able to match in the next 30 seconds, but there is that tiny window.
They may try to catch out Optimus here. No, Descent decided to back off. Archie's still waiting
They
inside
have
of
caught out
Fog of War.
Optimus potentially. Took some damage. Must have missed the route there. Because that was certainly a face check that came out of Optimus in the end.
He said Levi sweeps up that ward. Again, it's 1,000 gold lead for Optimus, 1,200 for No Way on this Caitlyn, who already has Infinity Edge into Static Shift. King sitting on his Yoma's Ghostblade, looking for the components of an Infinity Edge.
And you just have to question the macro out of the Direwolves right now. We're seeing, every single lane, including the jungle too, is falling behind across CS.
Yep.
And, right now, we mentioned they weren't looking to that 1-3-1. Currently, Kassadin and Jin are sharing farm.
Archie has waited here for so long. Chippy's going to be very surprised to see a Jax waiting inside this bush. Levi's down here as well. That's a dead Camille. Here he goes. Gets the stun. Cocoon follows up. How the heck do you get out of that?
Yeah, exactly right. Perfect layering of CC Fish. He didn't have a chance to jump away. He's already popped the Counter-Strike as he's leaving the brush. That is how confident he is that he'll win that one. And the Marines just look unstoppable. They look like an absolute world-class team right now.
Yeah, and absolutely. And as we see more of Archie in the top lane, he has so many good reads around the map. He played that so patiently, waited for Chippies to use all his abilities on the wave. And
he's about to get the turret.
They're going to get the turret in the bot lane, an extra bit of gold for the Jax, who's only getting stronger in his side lane. And it just looks like... It looks like the Marines... we know Direwolves as the team that can split push in the OPL, right? But the Marines are certainly tearing them to shreds in that regard right here.
I think as soon as you saw those 2 solo kills go down in the solo lane, you were like, oh boy. Actually, they're in some hot water here because the 2 best players of the Direwolves have just been killed by the respective lane opponents.
Ooh, Optimus looking for a play into Fantix.
Go,
doesn't do too much damage to the Shock Blast combo. Fantix tries to turn this one around. Teleport is coming for Chippies. Optimus just smacks him back and says, nah, you cancel that, buddy.
Now, all of a sudden, for the Baron setup, they have to send Fantix down bot because there's no way that the Camille can sit here and... Ooh.
And I mean, that was just another situation of where Direwolves have to expend another resource to go even in a trade to keep Fantix alive in that 1v1. They have to use Chippy's TP, and as you say, probably going to put Kassadin as they are right now, deploying him into the bot side of the map. Levi, and Sia have base, so potentially they were looking for a pick onto the Jax with the Camille and Cass, but Chippy's just going to rotate to the top lane.
Hats off to the Gigabyte Marines coach here, though. The draft has been fantastic to watch so far, and you can see adaptation coming out of Levi already, no longer going for the full damage build on Leeds, has picked up a Lock of Iron Solari, knows that Optimus and Archie and No Way currently carrying this game out.
And I mean, one really interesting thing for me this game in the draft is that, as they're looking for a fight in the mid lane.
They're looking for one. King pops heal very early. Schönfire has to try and take a tunnel away. Doesn't get interrupted, so they burn a summoner spell. And
as I was saying, the Gigabyte Marines have done such a great job throughout this tournament at hiding things from their opponents. Oh, that was very close. But Archie has played nothing but Kennen and Gragas up to this point. I guarantee you, a player like Chippies wouldn't have wanted to pick himself into a counter pick. And
double flash. Fantix gets away. Archie and Fantix trading quite evenly there, both flash for flash.
Yeah, I mean, Archie's still on the front foot, though. Like, absolutely was looking to dominate Fantix in that one-on-one again. Sure, he burns the flash, but message received. No one can go near the Jax right now. It doesn't matter who has their teleport. And unfortunately, it looks like Chippies is also losing his 1v1, and No Way is absolutely started on him there with the 90 caliber net and nearly one-shot Destiny.
Jax again on top of Fantix in the bottom lane. He'll riff and walk away. Both of these two are trading quite aggressively.
And this is one of those times where Direwolves they're being suffocated out of this map.
They're hoping for a miracle. They're looking for miracle engages. They have absolutely no way in. It's such a safe comp out of the Gigabyte Marines. Every part of the 1-3-1 has disengaged, and Optimus has been shadowed all game by Levi.
And they're playing it perfectly.
They're flirting, with like that engage range territory very well. They're staying, close enough to threaten the Direwolves, but all these collapses Direwolves are showing, actually can't get anything out of it. And as we've repeatedly brought up, that they end up expending a TP or expending a flash here and there, and then it just gives the Gigabyte Marines like a window to attack.
And I think this is like truly frustrating League of Legends. We say, playing against Nunu is frustrating. Playing against a well put together team comp that doesn't need to like have any of those pocket picks involved, but then still be able to play that style and keep you at arm lengths and still be able to pick up objectives. And the turrets are so healthy because there's no shoves going on the side of the Direwolves at all. This is truly like fantastic League of Legends, like being executed on, and it's not pretty to watch unless like you're a really big League of Legends enthusiast. Like very little kills happening in these games today from the Gigabyte Marines, but they're just controlling all of the Oceanic opponents.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like they're deploying Archie into the bottom lane. Probably, it's unluckily for them, they've got an Ocean Drake and they've spawned another Air Drake that Levi's looking to solo out now. But yeah, Absolutely, like suffocating League of Legends. It just looks rough to play. They're looking for picks, but they just can't find them.
They picked up 6,000 gold from this. This is not something you usually see. And that's a big swing of gold, and they've just done it from incremental advantages across the map.
And then you look at the items, right? Caitlyn hasn't even reached a 3-item spike. She hasn't even reached her best point. Or, as I say that, she picks up the rapid fire. So this is her best point in the game, in my opinion. And yeah, that does give DWvs a little bit of relief right now on the top side of the map. They can get some vision control around the Baron.
So if you're DWvs, what do you start doing now? Because this lead is starting to become unassailable, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like the only thing you can do is attack the 1-3-1 now that Chippy's teleports back up on one side of the map, make your play, and hope you teleport to a good Baron fight. I mean, we've seen that that's the desperation play with these double TP comps. Is it going to work? I would say probably not, because the Marines are probably too good and will have the read, but that is an area that you can maybe look to execute on.
And as you say, around the Baron for the Marines, this is another composition where all they've got to tank the Baron is the Time Kench. And saying that, Elise has gone for the Locket build instead of the Void Staff Leandri, so she's a bit tankier, but...
Look at this, 2 members sheet down, they're going for the attack on the 1-3-1. Archie is not even at the creep wave anymore. Gone from brawling Fantix to just sitting so far back. He is continually running away. They know exactly what is going on.
What a smart player.
Yeah. That is absolutely just the epitome of smart play. He is just, honestly, just reading everything DWvs do like a book right now.
Destiny's even trying to bait the Caitlyn. Step forward, hit me in the head, you know, let one of my people flash on you and so we can engage. And they're just not having any of it.
Honestly, Destiny's gone for the SKT Zara skin. He needs to sit in the Wraith Pit. He needs to get the flash over the wall into the 3-man root ulti combo, as Wolf did. That's looking like their only option right now.
Let's see what they can do. DWvs at the moment still so far behind. 7,000 gold is the advantage that GPL have acquired for themselves. And again, incremental advantages. There's no big play happening on the map. It's just every 2 minutes we check in and they're 1,000 gold more up.
Yeah. Every time we keep looking at this bottom lane matchup, the Jax and the Cassidy, Fantix is actually doing a better job at pushing him out of lane. Archie is quite chunked right now. The Ocean Drake I was just mentioning is helping him out a little bit as Sia and No Way are caught in the mid lane.
And they get some damage onto No Way, but again, Sia just eats him up and he's safe. King actually fairly low as well. Levi was looking for a cocoon. Doesn't land.
You can see that they're looking to maybe catch out Archie, who once again, as Bryce was alluding to, is starting to lose out in that one. Lichbane's still not built up for Fantix, but he's got level 16, which is where he will be at his strongest also.
Yeah. DWvs starting to...
Caution to the wind, I reckon this is a fight.
Gigabyte Marines starting to close their grip tighter and tighter. DWvs try to pull up a fight. They lock down Levi, gets knocked up, can't repel in time. Chippy's is low, but that's a pick. Look at Archie though. He's just like, sure, you can kill my jungle. I'm going to be bottom side whacking away at your turret while the rest of the team almost dies.
So now he cannot go bottom lane. This will be the inhibitor falling down.
King, don't
King
you
might
step
even
up.
just...
Don't you step anywhere close to that Jax. Archie just jumps back to me and says, sure, I can come back round. This is a turret for me. I'll trade a kill for a turret any day, maybe 2.
Potentially, if that wave in the bottom lane was any closer, I'm thinking Archie would have just jumped straight onto King there and probably one-shot him at this point, but would have had both summoners, and they do get the inhib turret in the bot lane, they do get the inner in the mid lane.
How frustrating is that? We got a pick, we won a team fight, and we just lost 2 turrets.
Wasn't enough.
Oh, Shern.
And now you have to think that, you know, they're gonna start setting up for that Baron play, and this could be when they tighten their grip on the game and they close it out.
On the waypings.
That bottom lane, well, that's from DWvs, so DWvs are reading this as well as I am. DWvs, yeah, they really are quite vulnerable right now. Even with Cassidy hitting that level 16, I think that Archie is still just going to create a phenomenal amount of pressure in this bottom lane, and Chippies cannot match it.
And honestly, something we were talking about earlier is the DWvs build pass, and I want to touch on right now. Schönfire hasn't gone for the Knight's Vow and instead gone for the random wins first, but something really interesting is Destiny. He was building towards the Leandries, and then he's decided he either doesn't have enough gold or they don't need the damage. They have the Jhin, they have the Kassadin. They do have a carry top laner in the Camille. So he's going for a Locket. He's decided to start building pure support items, probably going into the Redemption next if this game goes that long, as they're TPing bot lane.
What the heck? They're actually going for the play.
Yeah, looking for the play. Meanwhile, Baron's going to get started up by the rest of Gigabyte Marines. Archie's like, sure, I'll fight everyone at the moment. Let's see if he can pick up a kill here. Archie tries to flash away. Null Sphere comes through. Fantix gets that kill. Can they teleport towards this Baron? Already at half health. They are TPing in with Camille. Riftwalk coming up. Let's see if Shern can go for the steal. Jumps on in. He can't. Knock back by Optimus. He still goes in anyway. way. Levi picks up the Baron. Direwolves trying to pick up the fight, but they just can't. No way. 90 caliber nets into Destiny. Tries to take him down. They're flashing forward. They've got King. Massive root coming out from Destiny, though. And Fantix is now in the back lines. What can he do? Jumping on top of No Way. King tries to get in. He can't. He's stuck between 3 members of the Marines. He does get a shutdown there. 10-10 in kills, but still, Gigabyte Marines so far ahead.
And that just might be game because already 40-second death time as it's 30 minutes in and the carries are still alive. You can see they're streaming down mid lane. Optimus is going to go Baron buff up top, and if that isn't the end, it is certainly going to be one of the final nails in the coffin for Oceania.
Yeah, the grip has just gotten tighter and tighter as this game goes on.
Teleport.
They're looking to end it here, I'd say.
They're going in. As you said, 20 seconds on the death tires. Gigabyte Marines already got 1 inhibitor. Top lane's going to fall shortly after. Baron and powered minions could walk into the base. Still have a couple of members of Direwolves to work through if they want to push for this one. Instead, they might just settle for all 3 inhibitors. They're all going to go down.
And I mean, now how do you fight? I mean, they just back away. They'll probably grab themselves the next dragon. They're going to look to walk Baron buff in, and then it's game over.
And absolutely, that Baron was actually so cleanly played by the Marines there. The flash over the wall we're about to see by Optimus to knock away Schönfire when his only option, we were saying, was to go for the steal. They miss the cocoon, and this timing perfectly knocks away. The Jin bullet streams through, and then they still get the smite onto the Baron. This fight honestly looked fairly close for the Direwolves when Fantix came in on the back end of it. We're about to see, but they just couldn't pull it through, and yeah, they just get triple inhibbed, and they have the Baron. It's looking like a very rough situation.
I mean, look how good the communication is between Sia and No Way. Straight away, they're chasing forward with Tom Kench, using the tongue for the slow. As soon as Cassin is on me, it's like, I am actually just going to defend my AD carry.
And again, this Tom Kench has appeared in every single game for Gigabyte Marines, and every single Oceanic team is going up against. It's frustrated them to no end because there's just nothing they can do against Sia.
I mean, nobody has found a true answer to it. They were kind of bullied around in the lane phase here, but I don't think they got enough. Like, they didn't get punished enough for the blind pick. So, like, honestly, going into tomorrow's games,
They get a pick onto Levi, but King just
Oh.
dies instantly through the blast cone and all. No Way gets eaten up by Sia. Destiny's gone. Gigabyte Marines looking to try and close this out. Schönfire's the next target.
Look at
Double kill for Archie. Jumps over the wall. No Way's flashing forward as well. Chippy tries for his last stand. Fantix jumps in, gets a kill, goes into stasis. Triple kill for Archie. He wants the quadra. Sia denies it. Gives it to Optimus instead. Rampage showed that this team can bleed, but they still look damn immortal in this tournament.
And, you know, we have to credit them. They had such a hard task to be able to go against all 3 Oceanic teams. And, you know, the hats off. They played phenomenally, and they didn't look flustered at any point, you know. Sin had a pretty good start. Legacy held their own for a little bit. Direwolves, you know, got a pretty good early lead.
Yeah, they certainly did. I mean, Direwolves played that well, but the Marines, as we said, they just play a frustrating brand of League of Legends right now.
They're just so controlled.
Yeah, it's just a macro game that is able to pull you anywhere around the map that they want you to go. They know what the next objective is. They're setting it up ahead of time, and they're taking very smart, low-risk plays for very high reward.
And that was the biggest criticism of Gigabyte Marines going into MSI. They had very bad macro play. Coming to this tournament, completely different. They're no longer that scrappy team that everyone feared to go into a brawl to. Now, if you play this long game against them, they'll just slowly rip you apart.
Yeah, they certainly will, and they're giving heartache to Oceanic fans everywhere.
Yeah,
so close.
I'm about to apologize. I wish this upon us. I wish Sin lost that game, and now we've been knocked out in the King of the Hill stage.
We've even
I
lost
wanted
Sol
to see us
McCullough.
take it. The gauntlet felt like our format, but we just couldn't pull out the win. Gigabyte Marines have done the impossible. They've sat at the end of the GPL lineup, and they've just knocked off Sin. They've knocked off Legacy, and I mean, they just knocked off Direwolves.
Yeah, they picked up a big reverse sweep, and almost every single game, it didn't look like any of the teams that went up against it were anywhere close. And the only one that looked like there was some form of leeway was the Legacy game, where they were very even for a long time. But one mistake, it was over.
Yeah, and I think that the Legacy game, like, it was kind of close for the wrong reasons. It was because it was a strange playstyle that was coming out of Legacy. And even though they were getting picks, and I say this all the time, they weren't playing on the opposite side of the map. And when you're getting picks in your own jungle, it just means that somewhere else is being shoved in incredibly hard and you're losing something bigger for it. So hats off to the Marines. I mean, as far as brands of League of Legends that we like to talk about, that is the cleanest that a play-in region has played
very heavy macro game style in a controlled fashion I think I have ever seen. This team is very, very good.
And honestly, I think it's just very surprising coming out of the GPL region, right? They've been known time and time again to send their teams to wildcards, to MSI play-ins, and just play very messy League of Legends. And then this is just the complete opposite. And they seem to stand alone in that fact, where the other 2 seeds out of the GPL, they played messy League of Legends, they played Chaos Style, but Gigabyte Marines, they just, yeah, they played that frustrating, suffocating macro, very controlled gameplay, and it just worked out so well.
I mean, they showed in the grand finals of GP as well. They picked up a 3-0 victory over Ascension. Those were very clean games as well. And proving it again here in the tournament. Now they've got to go up against the LJL, and we think this is going to be a completely different storm. Yes, Gigabyte Marines look like gods, but it absolutely does not matter.
Honestly, who cares now? I mean, congratulations to Gigabyte Marines. They're probably going to go 5-1 or whatever the heck it's going to be, 6-1. And then, unfortunately, Mineski and Ascension at the moment don't look like they're better than the 2 counterparts on the Japanese squad.
I mean, yeah, you have to call it like that, as you see it. Japan, you know, they deserve to come first, and they have to be sitting there, you know, looking pretty excited to come into the finals, because they do have the favoritism, the favorite.
Before we jump into tomorrow's matches, let's first take a look at the results from today. First up, it was Sin trying to run the impressive Cinderella story, which fell short at the Gigabyte Marines, who pulled off an amazing reverse sweep against the rest of Oceania, taking down Sin, taking down Legacy, and finally putting a nail in the coffin with the Direwolves. They will be the ones that advance tomorrow to take on the LJL.
And I mean, right now, in this format, we're singing the praises of the GPL, right? But going into tomorrow, this was the only format in the tournament. We had the group stage, we had King of the Hill, where Gigabyte Marines can be the only ones to stand there, as you said, and just knock off every other team. Tomorrow, Japanese teams, they are looking like the favorites coming into this. And Warlock was saying in his interview previously, earlier today, before the games, that he thinks LJL is the strongest region, even though the Gigabyte Marines are the strongest team. So even the other GPL teams not looking that confident going into tomorrow.
And not only that, when you have a look at how Rampage stack up to the Marines, I mean, they've already been able to beat them once, and they did it a lot through aggressive jungling from Tussle. And I mean, Tussle's actually a really good jungler in his own right. And I think that Levi, 2 games, probably got his team off to very good starts. And then, you know, one of the games, he certainly played more of a supporting role this time around. But if anyone can take him in a game, it would probably be Tussle at this tournament. And I'm excited to see how those 2 heavy-hitting junglers match up against each other.
Well, let's take a look at the road to the grand finals, because that has been locked in already. After the elimination of the OPL, 3-2 in favor of the GPL, they advance into tomorrow's grand final, which will no longer be King of the Rift, but instead every single seed will play against each other, starting off with the 3rd into the 2nd, the 1st. If it's not decided by that, we'll have another round of the 1st seed, followed by another round of the 2nd seed. So they'll no longer play each other's 2nd and 3rd seeds.
Also, they swap it at the end, so it's not...
So it goes 3-3, 2-2, 1-1, 1-1, 2-2.
This is very interesting, I think, because we haven't seen the LGL play the other seeds of the GPL, right? Like in the group stage, everyone plays each other's like level opponent.
So they're still playing their level of counterparts. So 3rd seed versus 3rd seed.
Did you read the memo?
Come on, mate.
And then it goes
so to clarify for Rise, we'll actually take a look at the schedule for tomorrow.
Okay.
So we can,
I'm a mess. I'm so sorry.
Keep calm. It's first up going to be Unsold Stuff against Mineski, followed by Detonator Focus Me against Ascension. Then Rampage take on Gigabyte Marines. If it's not decided then, Rampage and Marines will play another time. If it's still not broken, we'll go into Definition Focus Me against Ascension as the final match.
I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I'm a disaster.
I thought
we were flipping it. I thought we were going 3-2-1 and then 1 plays 2 and then switching it up a bit. But we're sticking to the seeding.
I need our graphics team to quickly get rid of Relay and have an explanation for eGym lol.
Unlucky boys.
So no longer is the King of the Rift format now. It's going to be a relay format, which we knew heavily suited both the OPL as well as the LGL teams, but not the Gigabyte Marines, who we knew coming into this tournament, if any team got knocked down to them in day number 3. No!
That was quick. That was too quick.
Thank you, producer.
So what we're trying to say is someone else apart from Gigabyte Marines from the GPL needs to win for the GPL to win this tournament. And I think Gigabyte Marines should go back to the hotel room and tell all the other GPL teams to step up, because if they lose now, after all that heavy lifting, they have the right to be annoyed.
And we heard that from both the Ascension players and the Mineski players in the interviews. Both of them said, we have to step up. We know Gigabyte Marines are strong, but the LGL looks strong as a region. And potentially we can see that tomorrow, but from Mineski and Ascension, what needs to change? Because today's performances against Sin, definitely not what they need against the LGL teams.
I'm going to say a lot. I think that, you know, we see the very, very contrasting styles of the GPL teams. So obviously, a lot of brawls and early skirmishes, and that's something they probably can't afford to do against the Japanese teams, who are generally swayed more towards the macro, and they want to play for those later team fights. DWfM especially, they're going to pick things like Ziggs that are just going to scale into the game.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
Oh,
this
no.
is actually going to hurt a lot.
If you're an Oceanic fan, cover your eyes. This is not great.
What are they holding?
They're holding spray cans.
Those are spray cans. And they're just going to cross out Oceania.
I mean, good on them. They played a very good brand of...
Is that Rip?
Oh,
no! Come on. At least he didn't put it on the logo, right? He's putting it around.
Oh, they're getting there, mate.
Oh, there's going to be a C-at.
See
Is
ya.
it an at sign? Please.
Oh, please.
He's struggling.
No. This is not great.
Nah, it's just normal A. All right.
See ya, boys. Rippos.
That is an at sign?
I think it's a sloppy at sign.
Very sloppy at sign.
Yeah,
the three-way high five to top
That's
it
cute.
off. That's.
I mean, I like it. I've actually enjoyed this tournament a lot.
Oh, no,
leave me alone.
don't get it on me. No.
I actually have enjoyed this tournament format so much, and I think that they should be really proud as a GPL right now. Oceania brought 3 teams that showed up in this tournament, and then GPL ran over the top of them.
Tell you what, though, that someone is going to clip that, and that's going to be the gift for the rest of the time Oceania sends anyone internationally and doesn't perform, because that RIPOS icon, that hurts. Stings quite a bit.
Yeah, we're changing our icon next split, by the way, guys. Just forewarning, I guarantee there will be an Oceanic rebrand.
Absolutely. I mean, they didn't get it on the icon. They got it all around. We can
That's
stick
why
to
we
it.
need a new icon.
Yeah.
So we can still see the icon.
I'm just going to stop speaking.
Would you have gone over the top of the icon?
Yes, absolutely. If we had won that tournament, I want the OPL players, I want Jews, I want Carbon, and I want Fantix standing there, just absolutely, just completely crossing it out with a spray paint. Just get rid of the icon completely.
Yeah.
Force them to rebrand because their icon doesn't exist
They
anymore.
give you 750 mils for a reason. That could have been a lot heavier.
So now all we need is LGL to pick up a victory and then, just spray paint 4 roasts at the end of their
Yes.
run.
I don't think they're going to do that. They're
they're
doing it
our
for
friends.
the
Yeah. Wait, let's
They're
get
our
on the horn.
friends.
Get on the horn.
Yeah. Send them a few Twitter DMs. Get them to get revenge for the boys.
We'll get behind the LGL teams. That's going to be tomorrow's match. We're talking a little bit about it, but what can we expect from this? Because, again, very different format. We expect LGL to be stronger here. Ascension did change a lot of their playstyle today against Sin, though.
Yeah, so what I think is definitely going to be favouring the LGL teams is that they've just gotten a lot to read. So they've seen everyone play from GPL, and they've seen, what adjustments they can make overnight. They can probably expect a few more have to come through. But, the LJL have been completely blind throughout this whole day. They can just be sitting there, strategizing and working out, their next steps, right?
Yeah, and you're asking what we sort of expect, sort of thing, right? So I think we will see much cleaner games. Out of the GPL teams today and out of the Oceanic teams, especially Sin, who played the majority of the Yoast games today, they were definitely very fight-heavy, high-kill games, very messy, and I think the Japanese team will do a lot to clean that up tomorrow.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that sentiment, and I think as we take a look at the damage graph and just how good Optimus is as a mid laner, I think that what we actually might see is some frustration out of the Marines, because they looked very composed today. They knew they could win it themselves. If they go down 2-0, I actually would not be surprised to see Rampage continue to put pressure into them, because they're a very good macro team themselves, and that is when a team like the Marines could crack, because the tournament is no longer in their hands, and that is, as a pro player, a very frustrating reality to confront during the day.
I mean, yeah, it's something that Jish, I guess, sort of has to deal with from the backlines when you're just watching your team and it's not in your control. As the pro player, yeah, like, we don't experience that, right? We're always in control. If we're in a best of 5, and then, it's up to us whether we win or not. But, I don't know, you have experience sitting for the sidelines watching us just do abysmally overseas. So
It's really fun watching people you rely on to win games when you have no influence over that.
Yikes.
No influence, come on, mate. You picked the
No,
draft.
I mean, not when they're in the game.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I mean, you have maybe 10 weeks beforehand to maybe do
A bit
one
of
or
prep.
2 things. But no, it is. It's not. I wouldn't say it's frustrating, right? Like you don't get frustrated by it, but it is, I guess, almost like nerve-wracking and scary, because you just every single time that one team starts getting advantage, you're like, oh, is this gonna happen? And
that's when you're on their team. I mean, I think that if it's you guys watching like a Legacy or a Sin or a Direwolves in this tournament, I think it would be frustrating, because then you don't actually have that personal investment. You have the regional investment in there, and if another team is going to lose it for you, I think that would be a frustrating feeling.
And I mean, we were talking about the OPL teams today. We saw them banding together, that sort of thing, and that didn't happen from the interviews. Warlock was saying that didn't happen for the GPL. So it's not like the GPL is one big team right now. You know what I mean? They're not collectively going in this together. So it might be frustrating for the Marines.
We do know that's something that the LGL team are doing, so we'll have to see how they perform tomorrow. But bringing us back to that last series, Hingers is currently standing by with a couple of members from Sin as well as Legacy.
Hey guys, I'm here with Legacy and Sin, and unfortunately for OS fans, the OPL has been knocked out of Rift Rivals 2017. Let me talk to you first, Carbon. How you feeling? It's disappointing?
Yeah, pretty disappointed. I feel like we were very close in a lot of the games. I think in the group stage we were one game off coming first. So yeah, disappointed to come out to go out last when I thought we had a pretty good shot, but it is what it is, I suppose.
For you, James, what are the takeaways from you and for OS's region?
We are full of alpha males. No, I'm joking. I don't know. Like it's like we were one game off grand final.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, it looks bad that we finished third, but it was literally one game. If any of us won one more game, we'd be in grand final, and like I would say we probably would have won it. Based off format.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that is true, right? But for fans watching, do you have a message for people watching, the supporters back at home, Carbon?
Yeah. Sorry again, I suppose. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a meme, but look, we did our best. Like I said, I don't think our level is actually that far off. We just didn't work out on the day. Gigabyte is obviously very good, but yeah, thanks for supporting us. Yeah, let's go OS.
And do you have anything you want to add?
Just echoing what Carbon said. Sorry. Nah, but seriously, the support has been like pretty crazy. My phone's just been going like, bing, 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 like the whole time, and everyone's just like, "Juice, you alright?" I'm like, "Thanks, man. You probably thought I was trash before, but now I'm alright." Nah, but I don't know. I think everyone had pretty like every team here had a decent performance. I don't think there was a game where it was like, man, like we just got completely outclassed. So I think it's like onwards and upwards for Worlds. Hopefully we make Worlds and not you.
All right, well, that is as good a moment as any to end this interview on. Thanks to you guys for taking the time to speak to us, and we'll see you guys back there in the studio.
As soon as the Oceanic team's knocked out of his national tour, where you meant to bond together as a region and win as a region, Sin's just like, yeah, we're done here. No more play nice guy anymore. We're just like, we're gonna beat you at Worlds.
Hopefully we make Worlds, actually.
Yeah, I can't believe the Carbon thumbs is famous across the lane, and he's hit us with the thumbs down. Oh,
and, I mean,
I'm just so glad that my World's appearance is not tied domestically on one of these teams at the moment. That's what I'm glad about.
oh boy. Well, just touching on something Juice said. I mean, he said that they were one game away from the grand finals. They weren't just one game away from the grand finals. Not even twice. 4 times in a row, Oceanic were one game away from getting to the grand finals. That's how close they were from last place and
Southeast
potentially
Asian
first.
desk of this panel has perked up a lot since that last win has gone through. But yep, you're exactly right, Fish. We had 4 cracks in it. We came short every single time, and I think maybe Sin's performance versus USG was actually the closest we got to driving this one home into the final day. But I can honestly only say that they are the rookie squad out of everyone that came into this, and they should not carry that over with them. I don't think anyone will lay blame at anyone's feet. I think that we had a good tournament, and that this is a competitive pod.
And I think something Drew said definitely echoes true, the onwards and upwards, right? There, a lot of the players that went over in these teams haven't had that international experience, are very young, and there's only upswings from here for them. Bringing that knowledge back to OPL, I think everyone can go home pretty proud.
Well, speaking of the Gigabyte Marines, Hingers is currently standing by with their top laner, Archie. Let's hear a few words from him.
Hey guys, I'm here with Archie, victorious from the Gigabyte Marines, who have just won the semi-final and are about to go into the final day and final of Rift Rivals 2017. How does it feel to win the semi-final?
Em nghĩ sao về cái chiến thắng trong vòng bán kết này của em? Em nghĩ là mình cũng rất là vui vì đã vực dậy khu vực GBL để tiến tới vòng chung kết. Hy vọng là ở vòng chung kết này bọn em và cả khu vực DWvGAM sẽ đánh hết sức để mang về chiến thắng cho khu vực.
Yeah, it's really happy that we carried GBL, and hopefully into the final round. Hopefully the entire region try their best and get the win tomorrow. Tell me about the Jackson Camille pick. We saw it earlier on the tournament. It's obviously very, very strong. Is this something you've been practicing as well, or is this something that you kind of just saw and were like, yeah, this is good?
Nói một chút về cái pick Jack của em và con Camille á, thì cái pick Camille nó khá là mạnh. Thì em nghĩ sao về cái pick này, có phải là em tập trước hay không, hay là em chỉ có chơi là biết thôi? Theo em nghĩ thì em cũng không có tập vị tướng chắc nhưng mà hồi trước em đi top thì em có chơi nhiều, nhưng mà em thấy bộ kill của Jack có thể chiến thắng được Camel, và rừng của họ cũng là Red Side nên Camel và Red Side không thể nào giết được em. Em nghĩ là họ có thể chơi Elite thì có thể mà cân được Jack, nên em đã biết Jack để chiến thắng.
Yeah, so I didn't really practice, but back then when I was playing top, like Jax was one of my pocket picks. I think Jax's skill set can beat Camille's skill set, and especially with their Rek'Sai pick for jungle, I don't think they can kill me at all. Maybe with Elise, but that's like a 50-50, so yeah.
All right, well finally, for people watching at home who have just become fans of the Gigabyte Marines and the GPL, do you have a message for them watching at home?
Thì em có cái lời nhắn nhủ nào đến những người fan hâm mộ vừa mới được yêu thích GAM và GPL hay không?
Hy vọng là các bạn sẽ ủng hộ bọn mình cũng như khu vực mình nói riêng, và GPL là một khu vực không hề yếu. Hy vọng các bạn sẽ tiếp tục support.
Yeah, so please keep supporting GAM and GPL as a whole. I just want to show you guys that GPL is not a weak region.
Excellent. Well, thank you for speaking to us, and best of luck tomorrow in the final.
Thank you.
There you go, guys. Some thoughts there from Archie after their victory in the King of the Rifts stage here, moving on to the Grand Finals against NGL. Any thoughts on today or tomorrow before we close out tonight?
Yeah, I just mean you couldn't have got a better person for that interview, right? Like Archie really stepped it up this tournament, coming in as a support player, switched into the top lane. We thought the likes of Optimus, Levi, and the bot lane, who did impress throughout the tournament on the Marines. I think, yeah, Archie was a player who really stood up in this, and even just then he said he didn't even practice the Jax. It was just leftover knowledge, right? He really adapted on the fly.
He's a perfect example of the fact that you don't have to like smash every laning phase. You don't have to be 50 CS up to have genuine map presence at every stage of the game, and how to actually like win a lane without being like over aggressive and stupid about it, in like a lack of a better term, because he played that incredibly intelligently. You can see that even when he was like going for trade kills, he was running away from the Baron. He's dragging them further and further away, and as far as GPL players go, he's certainly impressed.
Well, it'll be definitely fun to watch tomorrow as they take on the LGL. But that's all from us here today. I'd like to thank our analysts on the desk, Spawn, Jish, as well as EJM and Mr. Koala, who unfortunately
did not make it to the end.
Fell it off the desk.
Yeah, not being raised anymore. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to our entire production crew as well. We see you guys tomorrow for the Grand Finals.
Pick up a kill onto FBI. He gets played back, forced to flash away. Hamed still charging on forward. Gets one. The rest of Sin have piled on in. That's two going to get taken down by Rayoma. Hamed is being burnt alive as well, and it's a triple kill for Sin's mid laner. Juice is going to get knocked in. There's the Rumble. Equalizer coming out as well as the wall being built by Rayoma. Mineski stuck inside their base. Box being popped by GG. Teleports coming into the turret. Can't be completed because turret gets taken down. Kaigo now has to take 8 seconds to go back to base, but 2 members of Mineski make it 3, make it 4 are going down. Rift Herald is still battering away at this inhibitor. He's going to charge onto the Nexus.
In Rift Rival. This is the most stompy game we've seen so far. Rift Herald already hitting the Nexus turrets. I think this is absolutely it. Nexus,
ooh, Kaigu's trying to do what he can. Dice is on him. We'll get 1 kill onto Rogue. Gets Hex Trigger popped and take it down. Rift Herald still slapping away at these turrets. He'll eventually fall down. But 20 minutes into the first match of King of the Rift, Sin are able to break the base. They're looking for a win onto the Nexus. They still have some damage to throw out. Mineski are not going down without a fight, but FBI picks it up and Sin pick up game number 1. Sin have to go if they want this, and they don't. Warlock engages. It's going to be Juice's forced to jump out. Box gets thrown down as well as a lot of slows. Nooney low. That's a teleport coming in for Doppler. Lloyd cleanses out of the stun. FBI's kiting back. G4's incredibly low. Does he get it? He trades 1 for 1. Lloyd is still alive. Juice hunting for the kill. He gets popped. 2 members of Sin diving on DK. Look at Lloyd. He's got the juice shoes. He's got the triple kill. And it's down to a 1-on-1. Sin take a fight here. They're in the bush. Rogue gets the hook. Takes down Nooney straight away. G4 charges on in. He's got no manual scimitar. That's a kill. Pops his GA. Lloyd trying to do what he can. But Juice straight on top of his face. They take down 1. Only Warlocks left alive. Sin have done it. 55 minutes in. They ace Ascension. It's 15 seconds on the Crocodile from Thailand. They're not going to be able to make it here. Bring on Mineski, bring on Ascension, and bring on the Gigabyte Marines. Sin have come to play today. And with that, they're going to be able to take down the Nexus. They're saying, come at us, GAM. We're ready for you. Let's go to game 3.
good ultimate coming out from the Zyro.
Big
Shockwave
Shockwave.
hits two. FBI and Ryoma, both the carries for Sid. Levi cleans up one, goes for the support next. We'll be able to get a kill there. FBI trying to help him out. He might have just run into his own death. Shutdown coming out for the jungler. Levi wants 3. He gets 3 kills. Oh, Shockwave gets flashed out by Ryoma. 3,000 health. Levi looking for the steal. Jude's already in there. Levi jumps in. Does he get it? Taken away by Jude. But big team fight coming out of Gigabyte Marines. They lose nobody and ace Sid. Oh, Jude's going for the engage. They knock back Levi. He's locked down as well. Pops the Zonias instantly. Redemption will come through as well. Good stun from Ryoma. They kill Levi, but Ryoma will pay for it. No way though, taking curtain call shots one by one. He takes out Ryoma. Juice goes back in for another fight. Double kill picked up by the AD carry. Gigabyte Marines still come out on top. And 2 super minions on the base. Optimus looking for a kill on FBI. He'll pick that one up. We don't even need to watch it because base tones are being destroyed. Cinderella story off the gauntlet run stops right here. They're putting the baton in Legacy and Direwolf's hands as Gigabyte Marines come out with a win. Right, seeing engage, yeah, they're trying to lock down the Tom Kench. They pick up first blood in the mid lane for Claire. That opens up an attack mid. Let's see if they go for the fight. They are. No way getting good damage down. He takes down Lost, keep things off. Claire is nowhere close enough for this team fight, and 3 members of Legacy fall. Teleports completed for Tally. What a disaster.
Another fight.
Going in,
Lost is in trouble.
He's forced to flash away early. No ultimate available. Archie jumping on in. Carbon gonna get a good channeled ultimate. Optimus is low, but Cupcake already dead. Archie the next target. Lost falls. Finally, Tally joins the fight, but he gets knocked up straight away. Claire looking for something. Can't find the shockwave he needs. Knocked up, locked down by Sia. Gets eaten up by this tank code. Eventually, he will fall. Shut down, and that might just be game for the Marines. Oh, the raid boss, captain of Legacy, has to try something. Sia is low. He's throwing out snowballs. He gets stunned up. Can't do anything. In and up. Ace picked up by Optimus. Gigabyte Marines, they're pushing for it.
Cupcake off the turret here. They might actually get an opportunity.
Oh,
he missed it.
no, he missed the ultimate. He can't even save Legacy for a little bit longer. Gigabyte Marines, it looked like it was even, but they were always just one step ahead of Legacy. They take us to game number 5.
Ooh, big fight in the top lane.
Yeah, Archie's already very low. Shonfire gets the knock up. Chippy jumps in, gives the jungler first blood. Levi just throws out a cocoon from Fog of War. Good night, Chippies. And GPL are now 700 gold up.
Now they're actually going to look for Levi as well.
Levi dodges out the cocoon. He's popped the repel, trying to get out of this one. Jumps back down. Exhaust being used. Here comes Fandix. Doesn't matter. Chippies gets that kill. But Destiny's already dead, and King is the next target. He tries to flash. Double teleport coming in. Is it too little too late? Because Sia's here. Shows on top of Optimus. Gets 1 kill. Chippies locks down Levi. Fandix is in the fight as well. They do end up trading. Archie decides not to teleport. He's pushing for bottom lane inner. Gigabyte Marines starting to close their grip tighter and tighter. Direwolves try to pull up a fight. They lock down Levi, gets knocked up, can't repel in time. Chippies is low, but that's a pick. Look at Archie though. He's just like, sure, you can kill my jungle. I'm going to be bottom side whacking away at your turret while the rest of the team almost dies.
So now he cannot go bottom lane. This will be the inhibitor falling down.
Archie tries to flash away. Null Sphere comes through. Fantis gets that kill. Can they teleport towards this Baron? Already at half health. They are TPing in with Camille. Ripple coming up. Let's see if Sharon can go for the steal. Jumps on in. He can't. Knock back by Optimus. He still goes in anyway. Levi picks up the Baron. Direwolf's trying to pick up the fight, but they just can't. No way. 90 caliber nets into Destiny. Tries to take him down. They're flashing forward. They've got King. Massive brute coming out for Destiny though. And Fantix is now in the back lines. What can he do? Jumping on top of No Way. King tries to get in. He can't. He's stuck between 3 members of the Marines. He does get a shut down there. 10-10 in kills, but still Gigabyte Marines so far ahead. Gigabyte Marines looking to try and close this out. Shirtfire's the next target. Double kill for Archie. Jumps over the wall. No Way's flashing forward as well. Chippy strides for his last stand. Fantis jumps in, gets a kill, goes to the stasis. Triple kill for Archie. He wants the quadra. Sia denies it. Gives it to Optimus instead. Rampage shows that this team can bleed, but they still look damn immortal in this tournament.